Hollow Knight's soundtrack is one of the best indie soundtracks out there. The roundabout 40 songs help Hollow Knight's atmosphere shine, and today I'll be listing all of the soundtracks in order from worst to best. 42. Dream. Dream is not bad, but it's not really memorable like other tracks, so I put it at last place. But if the worst one is still this good, then you know how good the rest of the soundtrack is. 41. Crystal Peak. Okay, before you go hunting me down, let me explain myself. Sure, it's very unique and recognizable, and it even sounds like it's being played on crystals. Don't ask me how that's supposed to work. It's just a vibe. But it just doesn't hit like some of the other tracks do. Some of these soundtracks just hit way harder than Crystal Peak in my opinion. 40. Decisive Battle. This battle music is played during a few boss fights that don't have their own theme, like Vengefly King, Gruzmother, Brooding Moloch, Umu, and the Collector in Distorted, which in my opinion makes it sound worse, but it doesn't really have that memorability factor because it's shared with so many bosses. 39. Soul Sanctum. The organ is really unique and it stands out because of it, but it also feels kind of different than the other tracks. The high and mighty organ could have been used in other places better in my opinion, so 39 is the best I could do. 38. Crossroads. The Crossroads have this nice tune. It is quite fitting of this relatively bland area that is the Crossroads, and I don't know what else to say, so I'll just move on to number 37. 37. Hive Knight. Hive Knight is a pretty decent track, so why is it so low you might ask? Well, it just can't compete against beasts like Sealed Vessel, Pure Vessel, Nightmare King, etc. But besides that, it's still pretty good boss music. 36. Enter Hallownest. One of the only tracks that isn't used in the original game but as trailer music. It does its job well as trailer music by introducing you to this wonderful bug world, but other than that, nothing special. 35. Dream Battle. Dream Battle is pretty decent as well. The tense feel of it is perfect for the 7 warrior dreams, but it does feel rather samey, which is why I placed it at 35. 34. Nosk. Also a pretty good track. It perfectly fits the vibe of deepness, claustrophobic and full of tiny spiders. The abuse of the string instruments is used perfectly to fully capture the feel of Nosk and deepness. 33. Reflection. Reflection is absolutely gorgeous. A perfect track to feel safe and rested, which is why it is used at hot springs and stag stations. I absolutely love this track, but I think that the other tracks just slap harder. 32. Fungal Wastes. Exact same situation as Reflection, a perfect track that is just outshined by everything else. The track perfectly nails the bounciness of Fungal Waste. I don't know how else to explain it, but I hope you understand. 31. Kingdom's Edge. Yet again, a great track that fits its location perfectly. The empty feel and mysterious vibe in the music perfectly complements the tall and open area that is Kingdom's Edge. But it still can't compete against the other tracks, so let's move on to number 30. Dreamers. An ominous track that plays while you kill the Dreamers. Maybe you were expecting a boss fight, but now with this ominous music, you don't really know if you're the good guy or not. 29. The White Lady. The White Lady is a simple track, but it perfectly fits the regal and majestic character that is the White Lady, which is why I placed it at 29. 28. Godhome. I generally like the Godhome and Grimm Troupe soundtracks, but Godhome is in my opinion the weakest one. It's really good, don't get me wrong. The choir and strings really emphasize the holiness of Godhome. I think 28 is a good spot because the other tracks are way more iconic. 27. White Palace. The White Palace is a somber track that really takes you away. The melody is absolutely fitting for the beautiful palace. As if making this list wasn't hard enough, incoming are some of the best and most iconic soundtracks of Hollow Knight. I had a pretty hard time ranking these, but I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. And by the way, only 5% of you are subscribed, so if you could just click that red button, it would mean a lot to me. Okay, let's go back to the video. 26. Resting Ground. The quiet and sad feel of this track as well as the piano are absolutely perfect. Christopher Larkin did such a good job matching the track to the area, but Resting Grounds just gets beaten by the godly boss tracks or other somber tracks that just hit harder. 25. Queen's Garden. The Queen's Gardens track perfectly fits the White Lady. Not much else to say here, so let's move on. 24. Dung Defender. Dung Defender has this royal feel to it which perfectly fits into his lore. For a lot of these upcoming themes there isn't much to say because they all fit perfectly into what they were designed for. 23. False Knight. False Knight is a perfect introduction into the absolutely genius works of Larkin. It feels intense and is perfect for the first boss. It constantly keeps you on your toes, waiting for the boss to make his move. 22. Truth, Beauty and Hatred. This is such a good track and I kind of hate myself for putting it at number 22, but here we are. I love how fast paced this track feels and it just hits different, but the other tracks are even better in my opinion. 21. Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is just the title screen music, but it's beautiful and absolutely iconic. The piano is quiet and the melody is carried over into other tracks as leitmotifs, making this the basis for a lot of other tracks, which is why I place it higher than a lot of other tracks. We're also halfway done with this list, so here come my top 20 soundtracks of Hollow Knight. 20. White Defender. The White Defender is the dream version of the Dung Defender, and with that comes a remix track of the Dung Defender that kinda hits different. The added instruments definitely help it place higher than Dung Defender. 19. Furious Gods. The title perfectly fits the track because it sounds like divine punishment is on its way. The choir is absolutely gorgeous and the track just has this menacing intensity, earning its spot at number 19. 18. Haunted Foes. A mysterious opening accompanied by drums. It absolutely fits its title, Haunted Foes. The feeling of incoming enemies with no idea where they could be, and the slow methodical build-up is just perfect. 17. Greenpath. Greenpath is a calm and soothing track that fits the area perfectly, but the mysterious undertone keeps you exploring, wondering what's going on here, which to be honest is the entire vibe of Hollow Knight, but it's still a good track. 16. Hornet. It's a fast-paced song that perfectly fits Hornet and her fight. There's honestly not much to say except that the track just hits different, and I know that I've said that a lot, but I don't care. 15. Dirtmouth. Yes, I put Dirtmouth above Hornet, sue me. Dirtmouth is just perfect in my opinion. The slow piano fits the empty tone, and every time I hear it I just get this image of the player character walking through the sad town with only Elderbug to listen to. 14. Nightmare Lantern Interlude. The Nightmare Lantern Interlude is in my humble opinion absolutely underrated as fuck. It's the same tune that Brum plays and it's so fucking good. The mysterious and ominous feeling when you light the Nightmare Lantern or enter the tent is absolutely perfect, and I will die on this hill. 13. City of Tears. City of Tears has a certain beauty to it that just fits the atmosphere of the capital of Hallownest. It's a perfect theme and the vocals are absolutely beautiful and carry so much emotion, which is why I placed this iconic track at number 13. 12. Daughter of Hallownest. Daughter of Hallownest is just Hornet's theme mixed with some How to Train Your Dragon vibes and pounds of crack. Need I say more? 11. Mantis Lords. A perfect track for a perfect boss fight. The Mantis Lords are a perfect boss accompanied by this fast-paced track. It never gives you time to rest, just like how in the boss fight you almost never have time to heal. 10. Sisters of Battle. Sisters of Battle is completely elevated with the use of choir and the other components, similar to Daughter of Hallownest and Hornet, a genius improvement on perfection. 9. Gods in Glory. Again the choir sound on this one, its absolute intensity and godly feel make it one of the best tracks in Hollow Knight. I just love the entire idea of Godhome, but this track absolutely elevates how truly godly the Godseekers are. They watch your fight with the gods of Hallownest, judging you, basically executing divine judgment. 8. Broken Vessel. Broken Vessel is so underrated in my opinion. The strings, the slightly off-putting melody, the leitmotif and the similarity of the boss and the player character tell the player that something isn't right with this boss, and all that without uttering a single word. I know that I've said this a lot now, but this is absolute perfection. 7. The Grimm Troupe. Grimm's fight is also one of the best fights in the entire game, and his track just slaps. It has this unfathomable level of hitting different. 6. Radiance. The track for Radiance, the secret final boss, exudes unbridled divine anger. A track truly worthy for a god. The choir again just hits different. 5. Pale Court. The Pale Chord is another track not found in the game, which, yet again, say it with me, hits different. The absolute beauty of this song is quite unexplainable. 4. Nightmare King Grimm. Nightmare King Grimm is just his original theme, but on crack. I think music in general is hard to explain, but like everything else on this list, it just hits different. 3. Sealed Vessel. Sealed Vessel isn't just a normal final boss track, it tells a story. The slow build up towards the drop is perfect, and the melody itself is too. The music rises and falls just like the Pale King did. The entire theme is not just intense boss music, but also tragic. You don't know what might have happened, but you can almost feel it through the music. And it's almost like it's divided in acts. The slow build up and then the fast paced rising and falling, followed by a somber and slow part while the boss is slowly killing itself. It just is absolute beauty and perfection. You don't listen to the Hollow Knight track, and it's really emphasized in this one. You feel it. 2. Pure Vessel. Pure Vessel and Sealed Vessel are similar, but I think that Pure Vessel just hits way harder than Sealed Vessel. It's more slow than Sealed Vessel, and you can just feel the sadness out of this one. You can truly feel Larkin's perfection. But finally, the one you've all been waiting for, my absolute favorite track in Hollow Knight is Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. April Fools, bros.